What's up, DJBooth.net? This is your boy DJ Blaze, and I'm kicking it in the lab to bring you guys a full video review of the Hercules 4MX digital DJ controller. Okay, so here it is, the Hercules 4MX digital DJ controller. This is either a 2-deck or a 4-deck controller, depending on how you want to set it up within the software. This is the overall impressions and setup. So overall impressions are pretty good. It's a nice compact, controller. It comes with that neat bag for transport. Easy to take it with you. It's an all metal chassis, very solid construction. All the buttons are nice hard plastic. The faders and everything feel pretty good. We'll get more on that later. Setup was fairly easy. It's just one USB connection to your computer or laptop. In this case, I'm using the laptop along with the Virtual DJ LE software that comes with the whole package. It was very easy to set up on a Windows machine. You get the software CD that comes with the whole setup, and from there you just put it in and you load your drivers first, and then you load the LE software, and you're ready to go. On a side note, you're definitely going to want to upgrade to the Virtual DJ Pro, which is a small amount to upgrade to. You upgrade to that so that way you can unlock some of the advanced features found within the hardware. For example, the crossfader curve control cannot be accessed unless you have the Pro Edition version of the Virtual DJ Pro. So keep that in mind when you're going out there and you want to purchase a Hercules 4MX DJ console, that you're probably going to want to also upgrade your software, so you add that into the price just from the start. Overall, very easy to set up, very easy to do. You just plug it in, you hit next a few times, and it's just like a printer. Nothing very hard about it. You didn't have to map everything. All the mappings are already set. Everything's already ready for you to go and to start mixing and scratching and doing whatever you needed to do. Okay, next up we'll go over the inputs and the outputs from left to right. We have a master RCA output or a balanced 1/4-inch output. There's also a secondary output, which is also RCA or grounded or ungrounded balanced outputs as well. This is for ground lift, just in case you need additional grounding on your outputs. Here we have additional inputs, input 1 and input 2, which correspond to your channels here. And also there's a ground post, just in case you're hooking up your vinyl decks. And of course there's the USB adapter here. You'll notice again there is no power cable here. All of your power is coming directly from your computer, from your USB port. Also, along with inputs, we have a mic input here on the bottom, and also a microphone input here at the top. This is not two separate inputs, it's either one or the other. You can't use the two at the same time. Also, same with the headphones. You have a headphone port on the front here, or a headphone port here at the top. Again, you make your choice which one you want to use. They will not both work simultaneously. Okay, next up we have what we'll refer to as the mixing console. And the mixing console is just the middle portion here, the black portion here of the whole unit. And first thing you want to talk about when we talk about the mixing console is the crossfader. And I was very surprised. This is a very nice crossfader. It's very loose, it feels great, it feels good for scratching. It has a very short cut-in time. I think it's about 1 millimeter. But it's a very short cut in time. It's really good for scratching. You can do all your crabs and everything you want to do here. You hear a nice little audible click. It's not too loud of a click or annoying click like some mixers and controllers out there. So pretty good crossfader. Surprised at that. It's a pretty short throw as well. So you can get your mixing on with a pretty good crossfader included here in the Hercules DJ Console 4MX. The line faders are a little bit have a little bit more tension to them. They're a little tighter. Takes a little more energy to move them up and down. You know, longer throw, definitely bigger space for your accurate mixing, so you can get the right line levels here. The knobs, all of your knobs and EQs here, they're all hard plastic knobs, and they have a complete kill button next to each knob, which will kill either the low, the mid, or the high. And you know, the overall sound quality of the 4MX was pretty good. I didn't hear any real degradation of the sound. The sound quality was there, and I had no issues with that. And the EQs worked just as advertised, just as they should have. And we also have the gain knob up top, and we have the main volume select here. There is no additional, additional knob for your other outputs, so all your outputs will be controlled here from your main volume adjustment. And also, if you look here at the whole console together, you'll notice that there is no LED line level meters, so you really can't tell at a glance where your levels are within the mix. So you'll have to be able to pay attention to your software so you can see the meters to tell, if you're clipping or not. Oh, along with the crossfader, before I forget, there's also, just like I said earlier, the features that you must unlock within the Pro version of Virtual DJ. And one of those features was for the crossfader. In order for you to be able to adjust the cut-in or the curve adjustment on the crossfader, you must use the Pro version of the Virtual DJ software. So if you just buy it with LE and you think you're just going to stay with LE, you'll be missing some features, and that was one of them. There's also a mic section and a cue section here. The microphone section is here to the left. There's a mic on-off switch and a button that gets illuminated when on, off, no button, no light there. And you also see the volume control knob here. And again, your inputs are here on the top and here on the front, your choice. And over to the right, we have the headphone cue section. There's the 1/4 inch here with the volume knob next to it, along with the cue or mix knob. That way, you can go more towards what you're hearing in the cue section or more towards the master output. In order to cue a deck in the headphones, you press the cue select button here for your left deck, cue select for your right deck. File navigation buttons here on the face of the Hercules controller. And most controllers out there, they have a knob that you can spin or select, but I was actually pretty surprised here as well, because this is very easy to use. You go up and down within your track list here with the up and down arrows. You press this left button to get over to your folder section within the software, and you press the right section to get back over to your files. So it's very easy to use, and it worked just as it should. There's also the load buttons here, so when you actually do have your track selected, you can either load it onto your left deck or load it onto your right deck. The Virtual DJ comes in a form of a 4-deck configuration, so that way when you want your next deck, whenever you want to switch to your other deck, there's a big deck C button here to go to deck C, and you'll know you're in that deck by the illumination on the button, or on this side, deck D. And all of your functions and everything will only be working for that deck D once you press that button. That means in order to get to your other controls for the deck D or deck C, you have to press that button in order to get to your other decks. Okay, next up we have what I'll refer to as the deck controls, and there's 2 of them. They're identical and they're found on each side of the mixing console. And the first thing you're all going to want to know about is how these jog wheels feel. And the jog wheels feel surprisingly nice. They have a give to them So when you press it, you actually feel the somewhat of a wobble within the jog wheel. It's not like a push top. It's like the whole wheel must go down in order for the scratch activation or for you to manipulate the sound here. And also when you press it down, you see the LED lights up to let you know that you're actually pushing down to scratch on it. And you know, most of the time you don't want your decks to have any wobbles or giving them, but it's actually nice here. It's actually nice to know that you're pressing down on something and you actually feel it, you know, that you have enacted on it. And it doesn't feel like it's going to break or anything like that. It just, that's a property that it has, but it is a good jog wheel. Rubber on the outside, plastic on the top, but overall good construction and have a good overall feel to them. Along with the jog wheels though, I must point out that when you're doing regular scratching that you know, just require basic movements, you know, the mapping within the Virtual DJ LE software or the Pro software is pretty good. But once you start doing scribble type scratches and scratches where you know you're going back and forth at a pretty high speed, sometimes I noticed that the software wouldn't pick up on all the little intricate details as good as vinyl or some of the other controllers out there on the market will. But I was able to do quite a bit of scratching here, but nothing really serious. But you know, most of the people that are interested in a controller like this are using it for beat matching and mixing more than scratching anyway. So there's also the play, pause, cue, and stop button here. Sync button is usually here on other controllers or digital decks, but the sync button is found up here towards the top here. You also have a rewind and a fast forward button here. You have your pitch, scale, minus or plus buttons here, which you can change to whatever pitch is within the software. The plus minus 8%. You got 6%, you got 12, 25, 50, and 100. And you also have pitch bend buttons here, minus, plus, and a nice pitch slider that feels a lot like the actual line faders here in the mixing console. They have a center click to them, so you know when you're at absolute zero for whenever you're playing in the dark. Okay, next up we have the hot cues, loops, and effects. And the reason why I put all these three functions together is because they actually share the same MIDI buttons. So there's 6 programmable MIDI buttons here per each deck for the DJ Console 4 MX. And they're already pre-assigned for you. You don't have to do any mapping or anything like that. But they're already pre-assigned for you to already be the functions that you would normally find within your software or on other MIDI controllers. So the first 2 buttons here at the top are actually loop in and loop out. On both sides you can select a loop in and a loop out point, and then you can modify that parameter by using this click button here, this click knob that you have up here, in order to modify your loop. And also the next 4 buttons now are your hot cue points. You can set hot cues and you can go back and delete them. And when you press shift, these 6 buttons now have different functionality altogether. Now when you press shift, each deck has a next 6 buttons, and your first top 2 are your sample record and sample play buttons, and your next 4 buttons are all effects, and you can program them to be whatever effects you want that are available within the Virtual DJ software. Please check the Virtual DJ website in order to find out the list of different effects that are presented within the LE and the Pro versions of the software. But by default we have backspin, which is good for your quick transitions. You also have a break function that makes it sound like it's slowing down like a break for other transitions as well, and effects. There's also a beat grid effect here, echo, with flanger, and you can also assign them differently for each of your decks depending on how you want to set it up. So with these 6 buttons, you're not really limited to anything. You can have all 6 hot cues, or you can have all 12 hot cues, or you can make 2 different sample banks or another sample bank, or you can make different loops and loop points here and there, or you can just make these buttons whatever you want them to be. You just have to go within the software and you can map them accordingly. So in conclusion, what we have here is a pretty nice, affordable and portable, compact, and all steel constructed DJ 4-deck MIDI controller. It has good crossfaders. It has pretty good jog wheels. It comes with its own travel bag. And there's a lot of good things you can say about it. On the con side, I do have to say that the mapping within the software to the jog wheels is not suited for serious scratching or for very rigorous movements. You know, once you start going a little crazy with your movements, you might not hear everything that you're actually doing. It's not as good as vinyl, but it is pretty close. You can do mostly what you're going to need for it, but it's mostly suited towards beat matching and mixing. Also, you cannot use the internal sound card for external time code deck control. You must actually have another form of sound card in order to do anything like that here. Only the Tractor S4 to date is still the only controller out there that you can plug your RCAs from your timecode deck directly into the input RCA on the machine and actually control all 4 decks simultaneously with the external timecode decks. There's also a lack of simultaneous 4-channel line and EQ controls, meaning here on this deck you only can use and manipulate 2 different decks at a time. Even though you can be playing with 4 decks, in order to change your EQs or your gain levels on your other decks, you will have to change the mode that your deck is in at the current time. In order to access your other deck controls, you do have to change it. Whereas on other decks or other MIDI controllers, you actually still see all 4 of your line controls and you can adjust all 4 channels of EQ at a time. My last gripe that I had with the unit was that it cannot work as a standalone mixing console, meaning there is no other power source here other than your USB cable. So in order for you to get power to the unit, you have to be connected to a computer. But overall, we do recommend the Hercules 4MX for beginner or bedroom DJs who mostly want to mix and beat match with only a little bit of scratching thrown in. You know, the 4MX would also be perfect for any skill level DJs who want a compact and strong all metal DJ solution to take the mix with them on the go. It has most of the features found on other high price controllers for a lot less money. Buyers will ultimately have to upgrade to Virtual DJ Pro to unlock all the functions of the hardware, but it's definitely well worth it. So you have affordable, compact, built to last, good for beginners and bedroom DJs, and just easy to take with you. Comes with its own bag. Good all-around controller. I had fun with it. Didn't have any issues, no hiccups. Everything functioned just as advertised and just as it should. Remember to check us out at djbooth.net/DJS. That's for DJs only. That is the section where you will find our DJ blog there, and any reviews or unboxing teaser videos that you guys want to see, and all the news is there. We update that every day, Monday through Friday, so go check us out there. Also hit us on Twitter. It's www.twitter.com/DJBlaze_DJBooth, and also hit us on the YouTube channel. It's www.youtube.com/RealDJBlaze.